Greetings to my brothers and sisters. How y'all doing today? It's nighttime right now, a little dark out here, but you know, got some light over here. So, I just want to come to make this video, just upon some reflection, upon some thoughts, that I've been, just thinking on today. And of course, ultimately, it all ties back into just the spiritual will, the will of the Father for us in these times, that we've been born in, this day and age, this world that we live in, and the will of the Father for us in these times, which is to give us life. But to receive that life, we have to be receptive of it. And to understand something, you have to be open to hearing it. But in receiving these things and understanding, and receiving these things and hearing these things and listening, we have to apply it. Otherwise, it serves no, or rather we put it to no use. It serves a purpose, but will you apply it? And one thing that we all have to understand is that, as I always drive the point, of being on this journey. And it's a journey with, first and foremost, yourself and your relationship with the Most High. And between you and Him, you have to be seeking to please Him by working on yourself with the things that He gives you in order for you to better yourself. And if you understand the will of the Father, and you understand it is His will that you better yourself. The only thing that we struggle with within receiving that we may struggle with being spirit and flesh, it's our fleshly aspect of us that makes it hard for us to receive and to apply the word of the Father, for whatever kind of, whatever it may be that may be trying to hinder us, and it's just important, to understand the state of this world. What is it? Why is it the way that it is? Why does it feel the way that it feels, in the sense that it's all around us and it seeks to make us feel entrapped, like there's no escape, but it's all in the mental, and really understanding, and even as I speak this, I want to drive the point that the man serves as the embodiment of the head, and if you understand that the head has to be strong above all. That's to say, you have to be mentally strong. And in the makeup between the man and the woman, the man is supposed to be mentally the stronger, spiritually he is the stronger, or that's to say he is built to be strong in the spirit, and the stronger one in spirit. And the woman is as, the body. And as we know, just as mankind, for man and woman, that you want to be able to have a sound mind, that you may not let your body or your flesh control you, but rather be able to make wise and understanding decisions, discerning, what's right and wrong, in order to preserve or to keep, that's to say to protect your body, and to look after it, to nourish it the way that it needs to be nourished, In the same way that we do that, it's a spiritual component of it. And just as you want to do that for yourself, so also a man serves as the embodiment of the head. That's to say, the spiritual understanding of what's right, being strong and firm in what's right in the spirit, doing what's right. He serves as the embodiment of that, and the woman serves as the body that complies with the head, that complies with your mind, as you discipline and train, yourself to operate in that sense. So a man and a woman, to be able to operate in that sense, must have a sense of discipline. And in that order, all of it glorifies the Father, because that is the way that the Father has designed it to be. And this world tries to paint many other ways of how it can work, but these are the deceptions, of the enemy, of the devil, that seeks to deceive and plant seeds in our minds to get us out of our own role. And truly, as a man or as a woman, if you do not find yourself if you don't find yourself in the will of the Father, and your role, the role that the Father has designed for us to be, then you're going to be in a pretty much rebellious spirit, as a woman who, let's say if it's a right man, an upright man, you fail to have that spirit, or have that, have it in you to be submissive to that man. But if you seek to defy him, then you move in the nature of the fallen woman who sought to defy the voice, as Adam was supposed to be the voice. But as even God said, because he hearkened to the voice of his wife, that was his punishment. That was the cause of his punishment. Ultimately, everything that happened, but it came from him hearkening to the voice of his wife. And so a woman that seeks to defy her man, that seeks to be above her man in any way, is not the way to be for a woman. A woman who understands her position, and I don't say this to say be this way to any man, because man and woman seeking to move uprightly have to have discernment. As a man seeking to lead, you have to consider: is this woman that you who you desire to be with, is she willing to follow? Or is she working against your direction? And for a woman, you have to be able to discern. Is this man fit to lead you? But in both instances, for man and woman, we have to understand our role in the will of the Father first, in the will of Abba Yahuwah, and excuse all the noise and sirens, but yeah, it's important, it's really as simple as that, The difficulty is in the world. It's almost like let's say what what's healthy for you to eat, but someone presents you with all of these dishes, all of this food that if you eat it, you may desire to eat it, but you inwardly, it will do your body no good. So in this world, understand, it's as if, let's say you're trying to walk on the right path, the world is trying to poison you, the world is trying to weaken you by And they can't force you to. It can't force you to eat this food. It can't force you to consume these things. It can't force you. You know, just as even in the garden, you know, the serpent couldn't force Eve to eat, but it's a play on the mind. You know, and the tactic of this world is to make it all feel like it's all around you. Darkness is all around you, so you must indulge. But that is in the glory that is in this path, the righteous path, is that you defy the darkness, no matter how great it seems. The light that you hold on to, you know, having hope and faith in what's right, you know, moving forward, understanding, you know, and you know, looking forward to the light that's to come, you know, the reward that is ahead in the future, you know. And as we know with any journey, with any kind of thing that you work towards, if you lose sight of the goal, of the reward, you know, if you begin to lose hope and lose, you know, a desire for it, you know, and you give up, you know. And so in the spirit, like as I said in previous videos, these are things that we go through in life, but it's just embedded in the spiritual makeup of or design of, you know, creation. You know, these things can be seen in many different components of our lives, you know, but it is a solid what's the word, block, so to say. It's a solid piece that is in the makeup of creation, you know. And so I would say that to say that many people, they can have faith in the physical things, but they lose sight and faith in the spiritual things. And with that, we understand that everything was created by the spirit of the Most High, and He is the Spirit. And you cannot understand or build that relationship if you are focused only on the material, only on what is obtainable or possessible in the physical. Now you can see, as I said, you can see the spiritual things embedded even in the physical, but you cannot reach the spiritual by means of the physical. And so with that, I just say, you know, don't let the carnal things of this world become your guide. You know, what's to come is a spiritual kingdom. And this world, with that spiritual kingdom coming, as it was even represented in the Nebuchadnezzar's dream with the statue, the image in his dream, with the spiritual kingdom coming, it also results in the kingdom of darkness failing and falling. And we know that Babylon will have its day and its time. And so if you understand in the spirit, then you understand what I'm saying. You know, we have to prepare for what is ahead, the kingdom that is ahead. And it is within us as we live in this time. And so, you know, and that I just say, don't lose sight, don't lose faith, don't lose hope. You know, this world will try to cast doubt upon you and within you. the more and more that you see the world for what it is, you know, for myself, I understand that the more and more I see the world for what it is, um, it even more so, it pushes me, you know, to look forward to what is to come, because I know that this world, you know, the spirit over this world is not life, it's death, you know. It is the beast mentality, you know. And it is the mind, it is the spirit, it is as like the beast mentality, the serpent above the mindset of the woman. It is as the mentality of the serpent deceiving the woman. That is the state of the world. That is the spiritual placement of the world, you know, the spirit of the world. And the woman, you know, as we know in the beginning, you know, God does have the final say. And that, understand, it's a spiritual battle going on. You have to make sure you don't find yourself continuously living in the mistakes or the sin or the fallen nature of our carnal ancestors. That's to say Adam and Eve. You know, you have to find yourself in the spirit, you know. And just as Adam and Eve did not see the result of sin, did not see the result of being kicked out of the garden, you know, that it would result in being kicked, that eating from the tree would result in being kicked out of the garden. It was not something that they could see at the moment. And so even in that, even in seeing that, we see that it's certain sin, it's certain things that we can do, certain evil that we do. We may not really be able to see the outcome and the consequences at that moment. And if we know not to do it, you know, having knowledge of knowing not to do it, you know, and continue to do it, sometimes we find out the hard way, you know. But even what eats at you more is knowing that you knew better. And so as we see a lot of things coming to light in this day and age, you know, we understand people who are willing to actually see things for what it is and understand. We see that the ways in which this world seeks to encourage us to live is only for the sake of our own damnation, for the sake of our own. It's like spiritually committing, you know, it's spiritually killing ourselves, you know. And so you feel entitled to living recklessly in the physical, or, you know, living freely in the physical, you know. That's to say, without any spiritual guidance, you know. And a lot of times, you know, many people live that way, and they cling on to the spiritual for the sake of, you know, for the sake of still wanting to feel kept, as if one has been kept, you know, as one is still cherished. And even in that, we see that people desire the validation, people desire the approval of God, but they don't desire to do what it takes to be approved. And it all comes with just rejecting the world. It all just comes with bettering yourself by the words of the Father. It all just comes with listening. All it comes with is just listening. You know, listening to the words of the Father. It's like imagine an adulterous wife, you know, and she has laid with men who out of lust, but she seeks the security of her husband. You know, she still seeks to be seen as an angel in his eyes, or pretty much as you know, just as a, you know, a woman that has been kept, a faithful woman, you know. So that's the same way it is when we live in our own ways and turn around and seek to make it seem as if we live for God. In that instance, what is really being displayed is that you rather see it as God lives for you. That woman rather sees it as if that man allows that, then she would see it as he's for her rather than her being for him. And as we know from the beginning, that the woman was made to be a helpmeet for the man. So if the man had held the woman accountable in the beginning, then he would be more so in the spirit of God, in the spirit of the Father. And that's what we understand, is that you cannot get anything past the Father. And so it's only good for us. It only serves us good to confess things to him. And even as I say this, when I say confess, yeah, like you can go to him and talk in prayer. But even in the sense of like just letting go of the things that you know go against him. And if you really understand, you understand the things that go against him go against yourself. So it all comes down to how much do you want to live? How much do you want to truly live? And if you want to truly live, do you truly want the Most High? You want to be just in his will. And so I was saying, just as in the garden, how they could not see the result of their sin, so as we are in this world and we live in the spirit, we live in the will of the Father, we cannot yet see, you know, we cannot yet see the kingdom that is to come. But be of certainty that the kingdom will come. And you have to have that, you have to let it live within you. And it can't live within you if you're living in sin. If you have sin within you, or the desire to do wrong. Adam and Eve was, let's say, in a sense, in the kingdom. And for them, or for, you know, they didn't have the kingdom in their heart. They didn't have life within their heart. You know, they didn't consider, you know, what could be lost, which was their life. But I consider the fact that they could not really see, or they had life and they never seen death. And sometimes, just as we know how it is, you know, certain lessons in life, you know, is that curiosity can spring because your desire for something can rather override your knowledge of the consequences. And because you haven't seen the consequences, you know, because you haven't seen the consequences, you haven't experienced it, you know, you think that it won't happen. And in the midst of it happening, you realize that you rather it wouldn't have happened, but it's been done. And so we just have to understand, you know, you got this, you have the strength, man. You have the ability. You have it, you know. You just have to allow it to be. And as men, it's going to rather build you to be the man that you need to be. For the woman, it's going to make you the woman that you need to be. We just have to allow the word of the Father to guide and lead us. And even as a man leads the woman, but he also follows the Father. And so, as the woman sees a man follow the Father, so she should follow the man, you know. But in the man following the Father, he is being built to be the embodiment of, you know, the spirit of the Father. The woman follows the man to be, as, let's say, as the earth is to the Most High, and the earth received the word. So she is to be a companion to the man, you know. She is to be submissive to his lead. And the man understands leadership by looking to the Father, learning from the Father, you know. The woman obeys the Father also in following the lead of the man. And even in submission to the man, the woman rejects evil. That's to say, in her following the man's lead, she rejects whatever would take her from that lead, you know. And so the woman has to be in a sense, you know, she has to be weak for the man. That's to say, she has to be like within him, you know. And the righteousness, the spirit in him that leads to do right. The woman has to find security in that. And if she's focused on that, she will not pay attention to the distractions and the evil that seeks to pull her in her own way. Because if she goes her own way, she becomes a lead. And she leads herself to destruction. For one, she is led by the enemy